Hello again, everyone. This is Dave, and welcome to the first advanced video on, I guess, the more advanced features of our QuickTime event system. You can see I've got my standard starting level here. I'm not going to go over that again. And I'm just going to open up Kismet, and I'm going to get started by building a simple QuickTime event. The only reason I'm doing this from scratch is because there's some new things that I want to do that I want to show you, but I am going to move through this rather quickly. So there's my trigger. I'm going to go ahead and go to a new action, scheduling, and schedule event like we have been before. Make my new player variable. Clear all players. Make this the player who stepped on the trigger. Connect my touched to my in, and I'm going to name my parts here part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. No need to be more detailed than that as I put these things together. My delays are all going to be 0. My duration and success times I'm going to make 5 and 2 respectively. I went over what those do and stuff like that in the other videos, so take a look at that if you don't remember. Now here's where things are going to get, well, actually before I even do that, let's go ahead and do 64 by 64 for the sizes. And this is where I'm going to do things just a little bit differently. Instead of just adding one thing to each of these lists, I'm going to add 4 things to each of these lists for each of the 4 arrow keys. Alright, and this is actually going to save me a fair amount of time later on, is why I'm doing this way. So let's go to the content browser. I'm going to do a search on arrow, all assets, and I want to look at only materials. And I'm going to put these in order going clockwise around, so I'm going to start with up. It is important. The order here does matter a lot, so make sure that the order is consistent. You'll see what I mean by that here in just a second. Oh, first I have the string, so up, right, down, and left. And the prompt materials, I need to go up, using only the red ones here, right, down, and left. Hopefully I don't make a fool of myself and actually mess any of these up, but we'll see. What did I just do? That was weird. I hit him. Okay. So let's add left in there and delete that last one. And I should already have room for my 4 success materials. These are going to be my gold ones that indicate that I have in fact hit the right thing. So up, there's right, there's down, and there's left. Again, the order here does matter. So you'll notice that all of my first entries are up, all of my second entries are right, all of my third entries are down, and all of my fourth entries are left. Now the reason this is going to save me time doing it this way is because now I can just make copies of this thing. So C, Control V, and Control V. So I'm going to do a 4-part event here. And now I need to add the actual events themselves. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and add, or change these names. That's going to be part 2. This is going to be part 3. This is going to be part 4. Alright, so I need to add a new event. Scheduling, scheduled event. And I need a couple copies of this. So you can see where that's going. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and 4 will be down here. That does not have a schedule event paired with it because I'm not going to schedule another event off of the 4th one. Let's go ahead and get in here and get these names in. This is going to be part 1. This is going to be part 2. Again, look at the older, the more basic tutorials if you don't understand what I'm doing here. That's part 3. And the last one's going to be part 4. Alright, and now we'll just connect the successes to the ends. we go. I'm not even going to bother with the, well, I guess I will bother with the fails. Let's see, let's just do new action actor, modify health, and attach this target to this player over here. The amount I will put at 8,000 because I happen to know that that's enough, even though I think they only have 100 health, but 8,000 is certainly enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the failure from all of these, whoops, to that. So regardless of where I fail, this will kill me. Alright, the only other thing that I really need to do here is I need to turn on QTE mode, and again that's going to be under scheduling, toggle QTE state. Here I want to turn it on, make sure that I do that for the right player, and at the end of 4 I want to add the same thing, so scheduling, toggle, and I want to turn it off here. So very simple QuickTime event here. Let's just demo it and make sure that it works. We should see all, oh wow, I kind of showed you where I was going with that, unfortunately, but alright, so let's see what's going on here. Let's, that really shouldn't have happened because that sequence size is still 1. Okay, I had things just a little bit backwards there. So the sequence size variable, I was thinking that was 1, so it's only ever going to show 1. But the truth is, as long as you don't have randomize on, it's always going to show your whole sequence here. So what I've done is I've made what I call a multi-QuickTime event, or a multi-QTE. So these are all 4-part QuickTime events now. Now XGAP actually makes a difference. I'm going to go ahead and put 32 in there. That's going to be the number of horizontal pixels between these pictures. And obviously I'm going to need more time. 3 seconds actually ought to be enough. So I'm going to switch all of these over to 3 now, because they are all 4-parters. Dang it. Alright, and let's take a look at that. So they're in the exact sequence that I put them in there. So they should go all up, right, down, left. I must have missed a gap on that one. I guess I only put the gap in the first one. Oh well. So I'll go ahead and fix that next. You can see I come back out of QTE mode just fine. Okay, so I do want to go ahead and set this gap because it looks really horrible when it goes back and forth like that. So you know the purpose of XGAP now, and you can see why those are lists instead of just single items. You can combine lists with single items. There's no problem with that whatsoever. So now let's go into the first one only, and let's click on randomize, and we'll see what that does real quick. You can see randomize is going to pick one of them at random. Now the other 4 I didn't adjust at all, so that's not worth looking at again. You notice it was down last time. This time when I walk into it, it'll be something else random. It happened to be left. Okay. Now why is it only picking 1? Well, that's what the sequence size does here. Okay. So I can actually make this a nice large number. Like let's go with 7. And let's change the time on that to be 5 seconds. 5. It doesn't ever make sense to make your success time longer than your duration. Just something to keep in mind there. And you can see now I've got one that's 7 long, and I messed that one up. I've got one that's 7 long now, and it's going to be randomized every time. I missed again. And what's fun about this, or what's convenient, I guess, about this is that, wow, I can't press keys and talk at the same time, is that You don't have to worry about the position of where these things are going. Based on the horizontal gap and the number of items that you have, it automatically will center it for you. Since I've been so good at doing that 7 long one, let's go ahead and add a 5 one right after that. And I'm going to try not talking this time and see if I can actually concentrate my way through this. Let's go. Hooray for me. Now it's going to go into the 5 one. Well, daggone it. Oh, that's because I didn't randomize it. If you don't turn on randomize, again, that sequence size does absolutely nothing. It just goes through the sequence as is. That allows you to either use a sequence as you've pre-programmed it or have it randomize every time. So we've seen here that we have the ability to do a sequence that we want. We have the ability to do a random sequence. We can do single events that are randomly picked every time, so that the QuickTime event is not the same every single time that you do it. And this is what we're calling multi-QuickTime events. I think the single QuickTime event is great for when you're dodging something or when you're jumping over something or something like that in your QuickTime event. On the other hand, if you're doing some fancy combo like the Chun-Li helicopter kick or something like that, you probably want to make them have to press several buttons in order to get a combo like that started. And of course, you can tie this into a matinee, just like I did with the bird demo, the item that came in before this, the video that came in before this, and we can make all sorts of fancy effects. We can do pretty much anything that we want here. But I wanted to give you an idea of what XGAP, I think XGAP is fully explained. Randomize, again, is it means that you want to randomly generate from the inputs, and that's why these things have to be in the same order, by the way. And then if you randomize, then you can determine the sequence size as well. So there you go. There's our advanced features. I'm hoping to add support for what we call spinners pretty soon, which is kind of a new concept, I think, in QuickTime events, and I think it's going to be really exciting. But it is kind of difficult to program. I haven't made it yet, so hopefully in another week or so I'll have that ready to go, and I'll put the video up. Thank you for watching.